Okay, now to answer one of the questions that somebody had asked was, how do you go from black primer to a blood red? Now the old school way would be to take some white paint, go over the middle section of what you're going to be painting. What it's going to do is it's going to keep a lot of that black pigment from coming through. You only need a thin layer, because once this dries, it's going to give you kind of the look that you really want. You'll be able to paint over it because it's easier to hit the middle sections. You're not going to have to worry so much about whether or not you're going to have little holes in your paint that show through to the white. It's normally the outer sections that are the problems. So we're going to leave that, and that's also going to give us a look of that black bleeding through and almost like a shaded color. Now I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to paint, but this will help out. You'll see in just a couple of seconds. Now that this is amply dry, I'm going to take my blood red, I'm going to put it over this. Now as you can see, this definitely takes care of the issues that he had. What it will, however, do is you'll see a couple of shiny spots on here. And of course that's to be determined of whether or not you want that or not, whether or not it's acceptable. Now the thing is, you can definitely tell the areas that I had painted white first and the areas where of course you just had the black primer and you just try to paint over it with a blood red. That black primer is going to come straight through because of the high pigmentation. Now the other way that you can always do this, and this is more or less the new method, is to take a foundation paint. In this case we're going to use red, of course, and we're going to put on the foundation paint first. Now the foundation paint is a higher pigmented paint, so this is going to take care of a lot of our issues. Now once again we're going to put this on, let it dry, and then we'll put the blood red over this. I think this is dry enough that we can finish up now. So I'm going to take my blood red, I'm going to go over my foundation, now as you can see, it's not 100% of the color that I want, but considering that this is black primer, it comes out looking very, very well. Now as you can see, this other area that we'd hit once before, I'll go over that for a second time too. maybe even a third. Now for that red paint over the black primer, we've already went over it 3 times. We'll give it a 4th coat, because I know the frustration of this. Just for good measure, we'll give it a 5th coat. What I'm also going to do here is just on the top half where we did the white, I'm going to give that a 2nd coat, because normally I would. It'll take out a little bit of that orange tint. So with the black primer, using the white, using 2 coats of the blood red, I got 90% close to the color that I wanted. Using the red foundation and 1 coat, I got about 95% close to the coloration that I wanted. And using 5 coats of paint straight over the black primer, I probably got about 80% of the coloration that I wanted. Now, as you can tell, this isn't the best paintbrush to use, but I just figured this was a real quick project that I wanted to do to help somebody out. They had a question, I wanted to get it answered for them, so here you go. Now, there's a ton of things that you can do. Normally, when I do something even on black primer, what I would have done would have been to have used the foundation paint, went with a red gore, and then done the blood red. Would have given me a total of 3 layers over the black primer, but I like the look of that a little bit better. Now, normally I'd probably add another 2 coats to the blood red that I was going to be using over the black primer. If I was just using blood red because I wanted a really bright color, it probably would have looked as good as using the foundation paint. It's a little bit frustrating. And of course, if time's an issue, using the black primer, put on some white, 2 quick coats of blood red will get you pretty close to what you're looking for. So, for the guy that was asking about using blood red over black primer, there you go.